All right, welcome to the Just Music Podcast. I'm your host, Jalen, and this is the very first episode of 2024. This is a new season. Uh, Marco and I are very, very excited for this new season of episodes and also just the entire year as we have a lot of cool stuff planned for you all. Marco's not here, but um, I have the pleasure of having a very special guest on the show. Uh, Really, really cool guy. We had the pleasure of meeting each other last year. He's a singer, songwriter. Also, um, I believe I can go as far as to say can you say music festival owner? Is that a word?
Organizer, yeah.
Yeah,
Festival organizer, yeah.
organizer, yeah. But Dan Riley, man, it's good to have you on. How you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me on, Jalen. I really
Of
appreciate it.
of course, of course. Listen, let's just go ahead and jump right in.
Yeah.
Um, so the listeners have some context. We met uh last year. I think it was at a Creative Mornings Charleston
Yeah. That's,
event. Yeah, shout out to Creative Mornings Charleston. Very very cool organization. But you and I connected there. I think it was the Creative Mornings that was at the Halsey Institute of Art. It's like near the College of Charleston. But anyway,
yeah.
we went there. We exchanged contacts, and then we just kept in touch. Eventually, sat down. I think we got lunch, and then I came to your music festival, which we're also going to talk about. And but kind of give your own like introduction, where you're from, how long you've been, not only making music, but just in the music business.
Yeah. So I'm from Rhode Island originally. I moved down here to South Carolina back in 1994. Um, I was 18 and just graduated high school and came down here with my parents and it just ended up staying here. And so I've been writing and playing music since I was 13. Um, I got an old guitar from my uncle that it was a guitar he had in his basement and it was an electric guitar thing barely played, and so I took it all apart and spray painted it green for some reason. It was like a really nice natural wood color. I don't know why I spray painted it, but I was 13. I thought it looked cool, so green and yellow, and put it back together and got it working. And so that was my first guitar, and just started teaching myself how to play. But when I was younger, I really struggled with dyslexia. And so when I started trying to learn people's music from like fake books and sheet music and tablature and stuff like that, it was really hard for me to read the music and like process it and get it on the fretboard. And so I decided to just go ahead and start writing my own music because I knew chord formations. And so that's what I did. I was like, well, I've got words. I can just put those down and I'll make up my own songs. And I was fortunate enough to meet a few other people who were into writing songs and got some tips from them and learned a little bit here and there, and just started writing and have been doing it ever since. And so I'm a songwriter at heart. I also play with a band now. I've been playing with different people for about the past 5 years, which was really a huge change for me at first because being a songwriter, you're not used to like collaborating and listening to other people playing. And so it took me a little while, but the people that have played with me have been really patient, and I've really been fortunate to play with so many different talented musicians and play with a core group of guys. And then we play, it's called Dan Riley and the Marvelous Misfits, because I've got a drummer and a bassist who are pretty much constant, and then I have other people sit in. So I've got dobro, slide steel. I've had fiddle, cello, melodica,
Oh,
harmonica, just like all kinds of different people sit in. I want to jam with you too. I've been wanting some
yeah,
trombone there.
yeah. We're gonna make that happen. We're gonna make that happen this year for
So,
sure.
so anyway, a few years back in 2019, I started a festival called the Edisto Blackwater Boogie, and that basically my idea was just to have a festival on the Edisto River at the full moon. And initially my idea was just to have like a small thing, like maybe 4 or 5 different artists, and, and like maybe 50 or 60 people or something like that, and the idea just kind of grew from there. And I had a bunch of other people that helped out along the way. And essentially we ended up doing it at the state park there and raising money for the state park. So there's a lot more to the story, but I know we're kind of limited on time, so I don't know how much you want me to tell, and I don't want to just keep going on without
No, you're good. I'm glad you went ahead and started talking about the festival. But before I get to that, definitely I remember you telling me how, when you were younger, you struggled with dyslexia and how that, played a role in your musical journey. But now you've grown, and now you play with a band, and that's really cool that you have a very diverse and eclectic group of musicians, like a harmonica, a cello. Like, that's really, really cool. But yeah, you and I are definitely going to jam out this year. We're going to make that happen. I know we've been talking about it, but we're going to make it happen. And but I think, to hear you say how you basically grew from how you had a challenge, but you may still deal with it, but you took that challenge and you didn't let that stop you from doing what you want to do, doing what you love, which is music, which is very, very inspiring, especially for young musicians, young students, and anybody who, wants to make music or has a passion or something that they want to achieve or go after.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, no, I've always believed that anything worth doing is worth the work, and so if we want, if you want to do something, and like one of the things, eventually I want to be a better guitar player. That's one of my goals eventually. I still kind of a chord guy. I play a tiny bit of lead here and there, and I play a few different other stringed instruments, like kind of, but I've never really mastered the guitar itself, because I'm just I'm singing, and my main thing is writing music. But that's a goal of mine eventually, and so I'm working on it. But for me, it's just been a really long process, because I enjoy writing music so much that really the getting into the technicalities and like the music theory and stuff like that, I know some of it, but like if you ask me what key a song is in, 9 times out of 10, I might not be able to tell you, right? The key is something.
Right. It's in a key. It's one of the keys.
Just
one of the major or minor keys.
You get to the right one.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
No, and then to what you said about how mastering the guitar. Like you said, anything that's worth having and anything that has great value is worth the work, and it's worth the wait. Yeah. And you talked about how you're a singer and songwriter. You have music out as well. You have some music out on Spotify and other streaming platforms. And I saw that you released, your last release was back in 2022 with an EP called Waking Up. Yeah. Talk a little bit about that, and maybe even share, is it possible that we'll get some new music from you?
Yeah. So releasing that was a really long journey for me, because the recording process, a lot of people love the recording process, and I've never, I just have always preferred performing live, and performing, especially for intimate size audiences, like campfires, like one of my favorite places to play, or small rooms, things like that. But I really, since I started the festival, I enjoy playing in front of a festival crowd too. It's a whole lot of fun. But where was I going? What was the question?
No, I think you were heading on the right track. Talking a little bit about that EP, but also,
waking up. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, so it's been so the recording process has always been kind of tricky for